Welcome, internet friends. How are we all doing tonight? I'm laughing at I'm laughing at Angel Wings comment. I did eat, and I actually ate too much because my stomach. I ate too many different things. Like I had cookies, I had Slim Jims, I had Dunkin' Donuts, 2 coffees today. But those 2 coffees, like seriously, I'm tired again. It's crazy. And I've been drinking Sprite and water. So how is everybody's UIGTS? Hello. Hello. The girl, it's Wendy here. Yes, same here, Jules. How are you, honey? The patter of tiny paws. Hello, hello. Angel Wings. Hello, Tom. Sandra, Graham, Tam, Anastasia. Hello, Susan. When going up the line, hello, shenanigans. Carol, hello. Chu-Chi Sleuth, hello, good to see you. And up the line, Haley, Miss Joyous, Andrea, Tom, I think Kelly. Did I get everybody? Hello, Robin. Everybody, hello. Welcome in to Daphne's Case Files. I hope that everybody's doing good today. It's so good to see you. I know that I'm doing good. Thank you. Other than stomach. It is cold there. Yeah, it's so cold everywhere, right? Hi, forget me not. Yeah, this weather changes the worst, right? Like it just makes you want to stay in bed all day. And I just totally want to go in bed and just like lay there. And even though my stomach hurts, I still want to eat my sherbet. Hi, Shannon. Good to see you. So today I will be going over Sebastian Rogers' case. I was really invested, and I still am invested in the Sebastian Rogers case. Actually, Lisa, I do. Hi, Mr. Hemi. I do have a video I want to go over. It just came out about a week ago, and it is a body language video by someone that has like certification in body language or whatever you call it, right? Someone that can read body language, and they're going over the parents and how basically the parents reacted in their interviews and stuff like that. Now, if you're not up to date with Sebastian's case, I'm going to go ahead and read the timeline for you, and I'm going to show you a picture of Sebastian. That way you know who we're talking about. Let me actually find a really good one here. I put him on the thumbnail, but some of you, I don't know if you looked at the thumbnail and you just clicked on the video. So I'm going to show you a picture of Sebastian. He is now actually, gosh, let me show you the most recent, right? The most recent picture. He has been missing for almost 2 years now, guys. 2 years. Hi, YouTuber. Lisa. Hi. No, it's not the behavioral panel, guys. It's not the behavioral panel at all. So he's been missing for almost 2 years now, and there really hasn't been much, right? There really hasn't been. Now, I'm not going to really put my opinions into this, as I do have my opinions on this case, and nothing can make me think differently about it. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to be nice and just go over this video that I'm going to show you. But first, I did a timeline, and I was like, I mean, I still am invested, but it's like the Jack and Lily case, right? Like I have all this stuff on Jack and Lily's case, and I have all this stuff on Sebastian Rogers' case as well, where I did a timeline, and I actually uploaded the timeline not too long ago, probably like 5-6 months ago, from listening to the parents talk and like I couldn't find a good one online. So I listened and added in what I heard through other people's channels and stuff and made a timeline. So I want to show you that. But first, I want to show you who Sebastian Rogers is. And it's, guys, this case, wow, this case has just, it's really sad that, I don't know why they're trying to get me to upload. Let's see. This is the FBI. Actually, let me do this. Well, there we go. Okay. So let me show you this. This is Sebastian right here. And he is an autistic teenager. So right now, and in my opinion, I do not believe Sebastian is no longer with us. He would be 16 years old now. Yes, it drives a lot of people crazy, I think. It drives a lot of people crazy, this case. It is very, very much well, it's similar to Jack and Lily. In some instances, mom didn't really speak out too much. And, well, Katie kind of spoke out more than Malaya has, but not too much, right? The last person to see Sebastian was his mother, Katie Proudfoot. Now, Sebastian should be turning 17. But like I said, in my opinion, I don't believe he's no longer with us. There were so many clues in this case, and I'm just going to leave it at that, to where I don't believe that he's with us anymore, unfortunately. Yes, Summer Wells is another case. Exactly. That is similar. Kids don't go poof, guys. And I'm going to say one thing. One thing that always stuck with me, that Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, said. He said, we have a neighborhood cat. And I know this is silly. We have a neighborhood cat that a lot of people's camera surveillance catches, right? And a cat, it weighs about 10 pounds, right, guys? 10 to 15 pounds. A big cat weighs 10 to 15 pounds. This cat is seen on a lot of people's home surveillance, like the Ring cameras, their doorbell cameras, what have you, right? But yet Sebastian was never caught on surveillance. Why? That's really odd to me, guys. It's so odd to me. And that always stuck out in my head. Like, how was this child, if he ran off, how was he not caught on cameras? Now, yes, it's very dark out where they live, just like, well, I'm not going to say just like Jack and Lily's place, because where Jack and Lily lived, it was it's very, very rural there, right, guys? Very rural where Jack and Lily lived. Now, where Sebastian lived, it is like a neighborhood, right? They're large yards, they're nice, but you have neighbors. And I'm going to show you Sebastian's neighborhood real quick before we get started, so you guys can kind of get an idea. And his mother worked, and I think maybe she still works for Brinks. Am I correct? She works for Brinks, correct, guys? Anybody remember? Oh, what happened to my comments here? Hold on one second, guys. Where'd my comments go? There we go. There they are. I don't think my laptop likes Google Earth very much. Yeah, I don't believe he's with us anymore either, guys. So his mother worked for Brinks, or still does, right? But supposedly they didn't have cameras on their home. And I find that quite odd. And now I said I'm going to leave my opinions out of this, but this was quite odd to me, because someone that lives with me is a computer geek, right? That's what they do. They install cameras, just like Katie. They know everything about cameras, right? The ups and downs, everything, the inside and out about cameras. And that's what she did for a living, but they didn't have cameras. Now, maybe they were in between of taking old cameras out and putting new ones in. I don't know. But I just find that very odd that they didn't have cameras. Now, this is their neighborhood. This is their home, right? This is their home. And I remember they were putting in a pool. Um, they were putting in a pool. Let me see if I can go to. Sometimes it lets me look at the date. Like it'll let me change the date, but I don't see it on here. So this is their home right here, right? Where Sebastian lived. And somehow he was able, that's what they're saying, that he ran off, able to get out of here without being spotted on any camera. Thing said, remember what they told me, Chris, upgrading. Yes, upgrading their system, even though they said they didn't have one. Yes, I remember that, Jules. I remember that. The arrow circle thing does the time lapse. Okay, let me look, because I want to show you guys this. They were putting in a pool arrow circle thing right here. Awesome. Thank you, Jules. I couldn't remember which one it was. So we don't want to go to 2020. We want to go here. Okay, so Sebastian went missing on February 25th, 2024, correct? And they were installing a pool over here. I know that they were. This can't be right. This can't be right, is it? I remember this is full, so that can't be right. Hold on. Maybe, hold on 1 second. That doesn't look right to me. Because I know when I was looking before, they were putting in a pool over here somewhere. Okay, well, let's just go back to 2025 because I don't want to like keep you guys. So it looks like the most updated version is just December 5th, 2024. So this Sebastian went missing February 25th, right? And this is December 5th. So this is almost a year has passed. Within a couple months, it'll be a year that he's passed. So I'm going to bring you guys down here, and I'm going to kind of show you his neighborhood closer, right? If you guys have never, whoa. This like takes me. So this is their house right here. And you can even see it on the edge of the property, guys. And now nope, it says 2025. So the ground image is 2025, but the aerial footage is 2024. Anyways, supposedly the FBI came out not too long ago, right? In I believe October or something, and they said that it was a vehicle, right? Am I right here? That's where the lights came from, correct? Like, remember the lights, and that what is his name with the Tennessee Bureau, not Bureau, but he does like the news station there, and I'm even subscribed to him on X, and I still can't remember. But anyways, he did a video off of somebody's surveillance, right? And there was a pool that Nick, thank you, Nick. Jesus, I can't think anymore. So he did a video off of somebody's surveillance, and there was this light. Nick Barris, thank you so much. There was a light video. And then there was something about 3 a.m. Something about 3 a.m. that it was like something was wrong with the camera, right? Like the camera footage froze there. Do you guys remember that? Some people say it was flashlights. Correct. Now the FBI came out and they said that it's a vehicle. But it's just odd to me. It's just odd how this supposed vehicle was in the back now. Now, remember, there's a vehicle in also Jack and Lily's case. Remember that Brad saw, and Brad lives down the road from Daniel and Malaya. Well, you know what I mean, when they lived there. But this vehicle, let me go back. How do I get out of here? So this vehicle was supposedly on this road here, correct? Wasn't it over here somewhere? And the lights, they were saying the lights were shining, and that's what made the flashlight video. Do you guys remember that? I heard from a local, she is no longer working for Brinks while attending school. So she went back to school. I remember on the Nancy Yeah, Nancy Gray. She said she was going to school at the time. Remember, she said she was studying while on the phone and then telling Sebastian to go to bed. Do you guys remember that? Well, the FBI came out and they said, no, that's a vehicle, and the lights were just shining and they were being warped by like water or something. You guys remember that? Anyways, I just find that quite odd. I don't know. Now, I'm not going to deny that, yes, this was in February, so a lot of the foliage on the trees and stuff weren't out yet, right? So you could probably, but the way the lights were, it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It looked like people walking with flashlights. That's just my opinion. But hey, I'm not the FBI, so, but I'm allowed my opinion, right? She was the great multitasker. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to get rid of this real quick, and we're going to go through the timeline that I made, and then we are going to go through the new body language video. So hold on. And also, I want to show you the video. I have the video of the last time Sebastian was seen alive. So stay tuned. I'm going to pull up here his timeline first and show you. Okay, so this is the timeline that I made. And if you guys see anything that I need to add or anything, just let me know, okay? Studying and talking to Chris for 3 hours. Yeah, I thought that was really odd, guys. I thought that was really odd. All right, so let me go here. So I'm just going to read this off. So Sebastian Rogers, he is now almost 17 years old. He is a high-functioning autistic teen who disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee on the night of February 25th. Sebastian's last known sighting was in public out with his mother, Katie Proudfoot, earlier that day. Katie and Sebastian had made spaghetti pancakes. Okay, so this was earlier that day before he went missing that night. Katie and Sebastian had made spaghetti pancakes while FaceTiming the family, right? And it's supposedly they were FaceTiming Katie's, was it Katie's mother? It wasn't Katie's mother, right? You guys help me out there. Who were they FaceTiming? Do you guys remember who they were FaceTiming? Now, I know there is an issue with Katie's mom. So who was Katie FaceTiming? Hi, good to see you guys. Welcome in. Thank you, Henry. Thank you. Do you guys remember who Katie and Sebastian were FaceTiming? There was like a big uproar about that because supposedly like her mom or something wasn't there, but I could be wrong. Okay. And they were bragging about their spaghetti pancakes. This is what Katie said. About 10 a.m., Katie and Sebastian headed to BJ's. On the way to BJ's, they picked up Katie's niece and then met Chris Proudfoot's sister and their children at BJ's, right? Katie said that Sebastian had a colossal popcorn before leaving BJ's, and Katie and Sebastian left. So on their way to BJ's, I don't want to get you guys lost, they had picked up Katie's niece, right? And then they met Chris Proudfoot's sister and their children at BJ's. So Katie and Sebastian left, right? BJ's. And then they headed home. And I'm not sure, they didn't really say what they were doing at home. And then they headed out to Strike and Spare, right? Between 1 and 3 to play a game in bowling, but quickly found out that leagues had been going on. So they decided to play in the arcade. Around 6 p.m., Katie and Sebastian headed to Texas Roadhouse. Sebastian looked quite nervous in his video. It looks like he was biting his nails, picking his fingers, but that could just be because he's autistic, right? Then he's also looking around at the table, and his mom was as well, while eating dinner. Katie glances around the restaurant as if she's looking for something or someone to meet up with her and Sebastian. That's what it looked like to me, so that's what I said in the timeline when they were at the dinner. But no one ever shows up at their table to meet them, and the two left to head home around 6:30 p.m. to Stafford Court, where Katie parked her SUV in the garage for the night. Around 7 p.m., Sebastian was told to take the trash out. This is one of his weekly chores. By 9, he was told to go to bed. So he replied to his mother, "Good night, Mom. Good night, puppies," at this time. And Katie, Sebastian's mom, had started a phone call with her husband, Chris Proudfoot, which lasted about 3 hours. All right. Does everything sound about right there? Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. Her husband, Chris Proudfoot, who was working in Memphis around this time, right? And I put around 10 p.m., Katie heard a loud thud that came from Sebastian's room. Katie was studying and still on the phone talking to Chris, and she yelled, "I don't know what you're doing in there, but cut it off and go to bed." Sebastian replied, "Yes, ma'am." But little did Katie know that would be the last time that she ever spoke to her son. Around midnight, Chris told Katie to go to bed. So she locked the puppies up and went to bed. The following morning at 6 a.m., Katie went in to wake Sebastian up, and he wasn't there. She quickly started looking around the house, looked in the kitchen just to see if he was in there, because sometimes he liked to hide behind the walls and scare her, but he wasn't. So she quickly picks up the phone. No, excuse me. She got in her car, right? She got in her car and started driving around. And she calls her husband. Remember that? She called Chris. And then while on the phone with Chris, when they're driving around, he does a three-way call to the non-emergency police station. Now, I thought that was really odd too, right? So they did a three-way call to the non-emergency police station. He said he had to call the non-emergency because he isn't in town, and if he called 911, it would pick up to the closest operator near him, right, guys? Do you guys remember this? Yes, of course. It says, I have here, all right, so then it says, Chris tells Katie to head back to the house as police are almost there, but yet this is what got me. Chris told Katie to head back to the house as the police were almost there. But the thing is, Chris and Katie were on the phone together. So wouldn't she have heard this? I don't know. Around 6:40 a.m., Chris tries to contact Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, right? And then he couldn't get to him, so he texted him, right? He texted him. Now, Seth works at a correctional facility, or worked. I don't know if he still does. He worked there, so he can't have his cell phone on him there. So Chris left a message through the text, and it says, "Don't be mad, but Sebastian is missing." At 7:20 a.m., Seth sees the text and heads over to the home where Sebastian disappeared from, which is the 1008 Stafford Court. Police are now at the home talking to everybody, searching for Sebastian, but no trace has been left behind. It's like Sebastian had just vanished from the house. He went poof like a ninja. Remember? That's what Chris said. But we know children just don't vanish like that. There were no signs, no footage of Sebastian leaving that house that night. Now, I know a lot of people think, yeah, I know, don't be mad, but Sebastian's gone. Now, I know a lot of people think that they really think that Sebastian didn't make it home from dinner that night, right? They don't think he made it home from dinner that night. But there was supposedly video footage of someone taking the trash out that night, but you couldn't make who was taking it out because it's dark, right? And they were wearing a hooded thingamajigger. Now I want to show you this. We're going to go over to my TikTok account. I'm telling you, I was really, okay, hold on one second. We're going to show you the last known footage of Sebastian Rogers. If I can see if I can make this a lot bigger. Oops, I don't want her. Hold on one second. So this is the video. Hold on. Can we pause this? I don't like TikTok's platform. All right, let's go to TikTok here. And we are going to show this. I'm trying to make it as big as I can, guys. So this was the last known footage of Sebastian. He is at Texas Roadhouse eating dinner with his mom. Now, I thought this was just, some things were strange to me in this. It does look like she was looking around for somebody. And people are saying, well, she's looking for a waiter or somebody to come to the table. But she's looking around when the waiter was at the table. So it just doesn't make sense, right? Oh, it's okay, Kelly. You could probably see this video better than we can on your TV. So there we go. I zoomed in for you automatically with my mind. Hi, Marky. Good to see you. Well, look at Sebastian. Like, he's eating. Everything seems fine. He was quite fidgety, but he is autistic. So, I mean, I don't know. See her looking around here in the video. She starts looking around. See her looking. Now, some people say, well, maybe she's looking for a server. I don't know, because a server actually comes up to the table. I don't know if it's in this clip that I have or another one, and she's still looking like that. And the server's looking at her like, what is she doing, right? Now, I know a lot of this. All right, Kelly, have a good night, honey. I know a lot of this has been taken off the internet, but I was able to like pinch a lot of this video here. But doesn't that seem weird? Now, this is slow motion, so she could just be going like, you know what I mean? She is also was in the military. Like, she's, yeah, paranoid. Exactly. This is slow motion, though. So, and supposedly, well, she was in the military. So, you know what I mean? She might just be being extra careful, too. But it seemed to me that she was looking for somebody. I'm trying to figure out where the video is, where the waiter comes up. And this is all I have of this part right here. But I want to show you guys something. Give me 1 second. I saved so many of these videos before we go to the other one. Hold on 1 second. Now, is this it? All right. Now, this is me from like last year. Hold on. Look at my arm. It looks like 20 feet long. Yeah, it's so weird. All right.
Okay, this is a still shot of when Sebastian and his mother, Katie, just got to the restaurant, Texas Roadhouse. Now, looks like the server is to the left of Sebastian, and it looks like the server is looking at Katie to see what she's looking at, if you notice that. Sebastian's just kind of looking at the server. Now, I don't know if maybe she's looking for a person or looking at something. I don't know. We're missing the middle of the video. We've seen the beginning where they show up at the restaurant. We've seen the end where they walk out. I do notice a gentleman sitting at the bar. He's larger, no sleeves. He was in the beginning of the video and he was gone by the end of the video. So that's just something different that I've noticed. If you've looked around in the front and the back, let me know what you think. Okay, this is a still.
All right, so that's my TikTok. Now I want you guys to watch this body language video. It's very interesting. So they go over the parents and they talk about how their body language is. This just came out. So give me 1 second. I want to upload it. I don't know why it keeps bringing me to like 2 screens here. There we go. So 1 second, you guys. Here we go. This person's called Nerdy Addict. Sorry. I told them that I was going to use their stuff. So I'm going to put their channel reference in here. Here, make sure I put the right one. Okay. Give me a second, guys. I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. All right. And let's see. So this channel is called Nerdy Addict right here. There we go. I'm going to put it there. Make sure you guys can see. And I'm going to start this. Make sure you guys can hear everything too.
language experts.
Asking Susan some questions tonight. Others were just in tears almost. So Susan's ready. We have an interesting live. If you're not, what I did was submit the interview links with Sebastian's stepfather, his mother, and Seth Rogers. And Susan is on tonight. Welcome, Susan. Welcome, Eva.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Susan, you and I came in contact back in 2020 before my recovery journey started. I had reached out to you. It was when Ahmaud Arbery was shot by two white men. And then shortly after, there were three African-American men who had been found hanging from trees, and we were debating whether it was suicide or a crime. I appreciate reconnecting with you 5 years later and you coming on this show. We will open up the telephone lines at the tail end of this. Susan, why don't you give everyone your background and what you do?
Sure. So I'm a human behavior expert. I specialize not only just as a practitioner in behavioral analysis, I actually have a master's degree in it. So unlike some of the other BLF, body language experts, that are also trained, but in my background is more academic and also as a practitioner in the forensic science of behavioral analysis. So kind of it's a little bit different than some of the other folks out there. Been a trial consultant for almost over 20 years. I cover pretty much every high profile case there is. I've done over 2,500 national appearances, and I know you guys have done a lot too. So anyway, I seem to be the kind of go-to person when it comes to detecting whether somebody's being truthful or not.
Interesting. And we put out the information on Twitter initially when you gave the analysis. We haven't shared the PDF. I have that ready to go. As you saw, someone said, well, look, the behavior panel already did this. They said the stepfather and mother weren't deceptive. We are here for your opinion, and we respect all opinions, and we want to hear it. We know how divisive this case has gotten. And like I always say, opinion should evolve with new data.
I'm going to close the door real quick.
You're not stale on your education. It sounds like you have continued education. In fact, you were traveling today for that. So you are constantly learning about this field, yeah?
Yes, that's correct. I was training 75 attorneys and judges at the Marion County Bar Association. And so I did a keynote on how to detect deception, teaching them how to or actually to learn the method in the 6-channel analysis. So I'm certified and I'm a licensed practitioner through the EIA group, which is out of England. So what I teach and what I was teaching them as well is how to identify specific signatures that are associated with deception. What I do not do is put any sort of subjective analysis in, because subjective analysis is your opinion. And really, when you're looking at forensic science, the behaviors are, if you're coding them correctly, she'll speak for themselves. So I don't have to give you my personal opinion of what I think or feel. If there's indicators there, those are points of interest that we're going to look at, and we're going to tie it to context.
Interesting. I would love to sit down and play poker with you, because you can probably pick up on some tells, I bet.
It's definitely not in the eye accessing cues, as I've heard some people say. That whole stuff has been debunked.
Interesting. For the audience out there, the last stream that we did was a little chaotic. My computer didn't work. YouTube had crashed. Our entire servers had crashed, and we were going in and out. So we will do a better job tonight displaying chats up on the screen. Super chats we will get to as soon as we can. Eva's working on that. We're going to jump right into it. Now, I have the PDF up on the screen here, Susan, and I guess my first question is, how do you discern sort of deceptive behavior versus these two individuals, the emotional stress that they're going through? If their child is missing, obviously, and there's some emotional stresses. So how do you separate the two when you're analyzing?
You have to always consider the baseline, the context, and the account. So those are the three things that you always have to consider. So, and when I'm doing a forensic report for an attorney that is analyzing a video, those are all of the things that I put on the sidebar, which is we have to consider this was, let's say, directly right after the child was missing, or it could be that the emotion, it was due to lack of emotion, could be Botox. I mean, there's a lot of things you have to consider. But when you're considering all of these things, there are clusters that are associated with deception. So that's what I want to speak to, and which is what I pulled up here in the language. Now, this is a statement analysis report, and any of those kind of what I'll call the deception sleuths, I think this would be really helpful for you guys to even do yourself. You can go on to Deceptio AI, and Mark McClish is the one who developed this with an IP guy that developed this app, whom I also have been in contact with many times. And there are certain words and phrases and how it is used throughout text that give us insight into how that person is actually processing information. So, for example, if someone were to...
Hold on 1 second. Thank you so much, Anastasia. I appreciate you, honey. I appreciate you. Thank you for becoming a new member, and we got our little noise for us. Welcome to our family, Daphne's Detective. Daphne's Detectives, guys. Everybody voted on it's Daphne's Detectives. Thank you so much for becoming a member, honey. I appreciate you.
To make a comment about a car, and then later on they called it a vehicle. Well, that would be interesting because we'd want to know, why did they change the language, the terminology? Could one be the getaway car and the vehicle's one somebody else drove or picked them up afterwards? So this is where we really start to look at language, word for word. And this is all from the person's subconscious. So, I mean, they're just rapid firing off a conversation, and, in every single word can be analyzed. So in Deceptio AI, I use this a lot in baseline. So for example, if I have a person that reaches out to me and says, I want to talk to you because I have a case that I'd like to share with you, which is my own personal story, and I'm being accused of being deceptive, or whatever it is, I get a ton of them. Little do they know, I run that story right through Deceptio AI, because I want to know if their story they're telling me, just on the language itself, where do they score? And a lot of times, especially with something like this, a 52, I would have turned around and sent it back to him and said, okay, you ready to tell me the real story?
Thank you, Jules.
So this was, this language analysis was combining both in combination of mom and the stepdad, as if it were one, because I looked at them as a unit rather than individuals. You can also break it down to per individual. I did not run dads through, bio dad, because there was absolutely nothing that I found that was deceptive in any of the behavior that I saw. On this one here, since there was so much context in it and there were long interviews, I wanted to run this through first. Now, I just want you to know that's only one channel of 6 channels you look at. So the algorithm that I'm looking at when I'm watching behavior, just to kind of give you a little background, I'm looking at what we call a 327. I'm looking for...
She's the real deal, guys. Like, she's got her master's and everything in this.
For 3 indicators and at least 2 channels within the 6 channels, which can combine facial expressions. It could be the voice, the content, that whether their interactional style, their body language. There's multiple areas that we're looking at, and there's 27 points of interest that are only proven, and I want to really stress this, that are only proven to be deceptive. Anything outside of that is pseudoscience. I just want to let you guys know that, because really we work hard in the behavioral sciences industry to really raise the bar and not call out stuff that is not backed up by science and research. Okay. So when I looked at this, this statement, highly deceptive. Now, why? The question is, you asked me earlier, is there a way to explain it? Well, when it gets to this magnitude, they failed miserably together. So there is information within here that is really revealing. And I would really suggest you pop that up there, because I think it's super interesting for people to know what I'm looking at. And why people, for example, most people, well, when they're truthful, you will use contractions. They'll say, I didn't do it. I wasn't there. Instead of saying, I was not there. And they didn't use a contraction. That is a very formal way of.
I've always said that. So sorry guys, I know we're listening. So when one way, and I'm not, just from learning as I went along with this, I'm not a statement analysis by any freaking means, but I do patterns and syncing and stuff within work I do. Just say that. But one thing I've always was told, so when people are lying, usually they'll write like I did not, I cannot, I have not, instead of using contractures like she just said, like I didn't, right? I didn't do it. Instead they'll say, I did not do it. Do you guys see what I'm saying? All right. So just be aware of that.
Disguising the truth. So there is these nuances in language that we analyze. And if you can imagine, like if on my team, I have a large team of experts that are qualified to do this. And that is that when I'm looking at a statement, this is just kind of a baseline from this Deceptio. But if you can imagine like a crime scene, right? We see them on some of these Law and Order shows, right? And you see all the pictures and all the lines, and you got them all kind of connected and who's connected to what. That is what statement analysis looks like. So when we're analyzing a statement, we are drawing correlations. We're looking for omitted information. I'm looking for glossed over. What are you not telling us? Are you giving me too much information? Are you too vague? Are you too explicit?
Listen,
and
guys.
all of this stuff is all has been put into a technology, which is super cool, and it will sift it all for you in a microsecond. So I would suggest for anybody, if they can find manifestos or they can find statements that you can translate it immediately through Deceptio. Now they now have that availability, or you can go to rev.com and upload a video, and it will put it into a document, and then you can upload that into Deceptio, and then you can have it analyzed within a second. So I think this is super cool.
Interesting. And if there's a slide that you want me to go to, there's 15 pages here. Just let me know what page, and I'm happy to forward to that page. Go ahead.
You don't have to really look through all of them, because the whole thing is, these are all indicators in language. This is just content now. That's only one of the 6 channels, right? Just in content. They're already listed here. Where you see them mention the same word over and over and over again, or it could be, well, honestly or truthfully. And we know that that is associated with deceptive behavior, or using the words but, but, and you can literally erase the sentence in front of it, because they're literally giving you an opposition. This is what I'm saying, but they're saying something else, so you can literally erase the words before that. So you have to understand how statement analysis works, but you don't really have to figure that out, because this program has already figured it out for you.
Pretty cool. The analysis noted present tense verbs like hear, see, smell, while recalling past events. And in your experience, how reliable is that as a deception?
That's very powerful.
versus trauma-based memory. Yeah, versus trauma-based memory recall.
Well, smell is something that you're smelling in the present tense, right? Not past. Like, I smelt this. Okay, let me give you an example. I was sitting through the Casey Anthony trial. I was there the whole time. I did multiple hits on that one. And there was a point, and I'm going to bring this to home to you because you can get it. There was a point where there was an expert that was talking about the smell of the human decomposition that was in the trunk. Now, I'm going to ask your viewers out there, if a mother had heard that an expert was talking about the most grotesque thing, which is, the human decomposition of her daughter in the trunk of a car, what do you think her emotions would be? That's a question to you guys.
Crying.
Eva, you followed that case, and that's your home case here that you were following.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, devastated, and hysterical, and tears. Everything that you would expect a mom to be.
Right, exactly. So what she exhibited on her facial expression, and I sat right there, right on the side of her, I saw her right there. She showed a micro expression of disgust. She went like this.
Disgust. Like
now,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that told me bringing her into recall of the odor created a psychophysiological response, which is one of the channels within the 6 channels. It was on point right within that same microsecond. So you can then correlate that expression to that content at that exact same moment. See how it works? So you have to correlate. There's a correlation. So back to this one, when you use the word smell is in present tense. Okay, so people that speak in present tense of a situation, this is where deception comes in, because when you're talking about something that had happened or that you recalled, you're going to speak to it in past tense. I smelt something bad, rather than I smell something bad. That's in present tense. So you have to tie it into the context of what he was asked or what he was talking about that provoked that response, and then you create the correlation. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. I originally gave this PDF to our Discord group. We work on the back end on missing children cases and more. And a lot of people, their first reaction was, well, I talk this way. I say some of these words, does that make me deceptive? What do you say to those folks?
Well, it doesn't make you deceptive until you start to count them. So just because you use that phrase, let's now take an entire conversation of where there's a high stakes situation. Would you agree that this is high stakes?
It is, yes.
Okay, so if it's high stakes, then you have a lot to gain and a lot to lose. You have a lot to gain if you're going to lie, to be able to tell that there's a lot to gain, that you'll gain the respect from other people, because they'll think, okay, well, they're telling the truth. So it's really important that they believe me, because the other side of it is, oh my God, if I'm not believed, what could this mean? They could arrest me, they could charge me, I might be, be looked at as being the person is of interest. So there's a lot to win or lose. So you also have to consider the stakes. How high are the stakes? And is it really important to you? Like, you really have to have a lot at stake in order to detect deception. So back to your question is, just to make a phrase like saying, well, I honestly don't know. Okay, you say it one time. That's really nothing. When you start to see things repeated and you start to accumulate what we call deceptive indicators in language, then it starts to tell more and unfold a story. So to the person who asked that question, that person is correct. However, when you start to add them up, the more they add up, because I'm telling you, I analyze these statements all the time. And most people, especially when they're telling the truth, are going to score around a 93. The fact that it was in the 50s, I'm telling you, there is something they're not telling us, and it's showing up in their language.
This tool, this AI tool that analyzes it, it's widely used in your community.
So guys, I want you to listen to what she's saying, because it not only pertains to Sebastian Rogers' case, it pertains to all these cases, right? All these cases. So I should have put in like all different cases in the title, but because this can help you identify like if someone's telling a lie or telling the truth, you know what I mean? And Matt, all the stuff that Daniel says, like, holy crap, guys. Daphne, my koi and goldfish ate out of my hands. They're awesome. Yeah, fish are awesome. They really are. Not to change the subject, but yes, I love my fish. I have a pond in my backyard, and I have largemouth bass, which I've like taken over, catfish, bluegill. I have crappie. I have crawdaddies in there. I have probably some things in there I don't even know, but I had a pleco, and I let it go into the pond, so he's probably in there somewhere too. But I do want to get koi, but I don't know if all of those fish can habitate together. As Jules, Daphne, and my fish follow me. Yes, yeah, they do. They follow me because they do, because I have food, so they're so used to me, right? Sometimes it's not a good thing because the bird walks up there and they think the bird is me, and that's not good. Yeah, fish are awesome. They're very relaxing too. Hi, good to see you, Hall Monitor. I want to get some more fish for my aquariums. I have like 3 or 4 aquariums, but we have baby turtles too. I have a snapping turtle. His name is Bo. He's a small snapping turtle. So, but his name is Bo. I call him and he comes over and he gets food from me. They're very cool.
It is widely used within law enforcement.
Yeah, cute.
Interesting. There's a good question up here. Was Deceptio? Is that how you say Deceptio trained on programs like Noldis?
I'm not familiar with Noldis. This was created by originally like Shapir, who is a renowned statement analysis expert. And then Mark McClish is also a renowned statement analysis expert. So it's based on police reports and known liars of what language that they consistently use that they found. So I don't know this particular program you're speaking about. I go right to the source, who is actually the creators and who actually do this as a practitioner.
And these AI systems, just so everyone knows, because I'm in tech, they have to be trained by a professional human or a group of humans, right? It's there's a science to it. Noldis is a Dutch company that specializes in behavioral research technology. They develop software and hardware tools to use to observe, record, analyze, and understand human and animal behavior. So it's probably very similar to this. I would say that the two probably don't work together. They're very separate entities that probably are doing the same thing.
And I think you're talking about sentiment analysis. So you're trying to determine how that person is actually processing, thinking, and how their language is coming across to other people. And you can analyze that. You can do the same thing with ChatGPT.
Absolutely. People pointing out that they've caught Seth over the past couple months, a year, caught in lies, but that's not your specialty. Your specialty is reading people's linguistics and more, right? You haven't dived into the fact checking of this. You are just doing it off of your experience in linguistics and reading their faces, and obviously loading into tools like this, right?
Well, I use a tool for you because this was an easy demonstration of one of the channels. So to answer your question, when you're doing behavioral analysis, we do not look at all of the context of all of the forensic evidence, okay? That will bias what we do. Because when you're watching the behavior, I'm analyzing, looking for specific points of interest that are being exhibited within 7 seconds of a probe or a stimulus question. That is what I'm looking at. Okay, so because I have cases that are come across my desk and they want to tell me everything there is to know about the case. I go, I don't want to hear it because that's going to bias me. So I'm already going to form an opinion because the language will speak for itself, the body language will speak for itself, the interactional style, the facial expression anomalies that I'm looking for, profiles, synchrony, duration of emotion.
I think facial, like when people do like, because a lot of so human, I know this is weird, me trying to explain it, but a lot of our interaction with each other is not through language, it's through body language, right? It's because back in the day, you know, we didn't really speak to each other, right? It was like cavemen, it was but they did more body language, right? And that's how we communicate, is through body language. And when you're doing these cases and people don't even realize they're doing it, right? Like they say something, you know, the smell, like she said about Casey Anthony, the smell in the back of the trunk. And she made that micro expression like it was disgusting, right? Like the smell. And basically she's saying that because she could remember, allegedly remember what that smell, what the rotting body smelled like. Remember? I know, guys, I was just being silly, but that's why you know, I think the facial expressions are the best. Like with Daniel, he's always sticking that tongue out, guys, like No, some people are like, oh, he has dry mouth. Okay, he has dry mouth, but why does he stick the tongue out every time something is said that is distasteful to him, right? He sticks that tongue out with everything that is distasteful or makes him nervous, right? Like I said before, what does a baby do when you give a baby like peas or something the baby doesn't like? They stick their tongue out in disgust. What does a dog do when it's nervous? It licks its lips, right? It's wide-eyed. And I'm not saying Daniel's a dog, but just think about it. My dog, if I squeak a toy, it makes her nervous. So she licks her lips and eyes wide, right? And remember Janie, her eyes are wide like this, you know, why she's aggressive. So I think facial expressions,
moments of emotion, how long they keep their, you know, the eye closure, rapid eye blinking, and all this sort of thing that are all tied in. I know how to time it because I have some of them has to happen in 0.3 seconds. So when you do all of that, time it in depth, you don't need anything else. So that's not my job to say, well, you know, the evidence says this or the evidence says that. I mean, okay, well, that's good. So now we need to create some correlations.
They're telling you without telling you.
Questions from the chat. They asked which video or interview you analyzed of Seth. I'm putting it up on the screen. It was the one done off of Court TV. What's your take on Seth's? He went on Nancy Grace to take a polygraph. First time around, his meds interfered with that process. He had to take it again. But I'm more interested in your opinion because it's not your field, I guess. What's your opinion on him denying TBI the polygraph test? So he's, you know, TBI went to both mom and stepdad. They took the TBI analysis polygraph, but Seth refuses to. What's your take on that?
He could be skeptical. Does he have any other other issues within his background? And if he is taking medication?
Now we know that Seth took a polygraph with Nancy Grace. So that is a very well-known TV show, right? Nancy Grace. She has like the most, what am I going to say? Like the most, probably like the best you can get. Now, we know that Seth does not like the TBI. We've heard, like I've heard, he does not have trust in Sumner County sheriffs. Absolutely not. So, I mean, you could see that, like, right? I know he was on medication or something like gabapentin, I believe, when he first took the polygraph the first time around on the Nancy Grace. But he didn't say, hey, you know, I'm not going to take it because I'm on this medication. He did take it, and it was inconclusive, right? He came back and took it again, and he passed the polygraph, right? Now, Nancy Grace had asked Chris Proudfoot, if he would take. Seth didn't deny any polygraphs. That's misinformation. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So he took it with Nancy Grace, though, right? He took it with Nancy Grace. Chris, on the other hand, he was the one that said he was going to take it with Nancy Grace and didn't. He took it with the TBI. So, yeah, he felt, because and he was on gabapentin or something like that. He was on medication for his shoulder, I believe.
Was he on, is he a drug user or has been a drug user? All of those things. First of all, you're not supposed to do do any sort of analysis when a person is on any sort of med. You need to have that ahead of time because it is going to affect how you're going to your motor movements,
heart.
All of that. That will affect it. And also too, whether you're autistic, you have ADHD, all those kind of things we do need to know from a psychological point of view. So all those are important. The fact that he didn't want to do it, what I would want to know is, does he have anything in his background? Has he ever had any former convictions? Does he have a drug abuse problem? So you have to do those considerations. Remember I was talking about the reason why he doesn't want to take it. Consider this, consider that, consider this, and consider that. Now, I just want to see him when he's telling me the story. So I did look at all this because I mentioned to you prior to getting on this, I'm very familiar with this case because I cannot disclose because I have an NDA. But I'm very familiar with this case and have been working this case. So I can't give you some information that I already know why I know it.
Oh, I have dry eye mouth.
And I think it's interesting. So people that are biased or think that this channel is biased, and I know who you're working with and I don't get along with that person, but still here you are on the show because we want to hear everyone's opinion, because when it comes to a missing child, every opinion is important, at least to me. So there's some behavior, I think, from everyone that's you could say that Seth's been caught in a lie. I've had a conversation with Chris, and it wasn't a scheduled conversation. I was in Tennessee on the ground, and he had some flyers. As you know, flyers get expensive, and I just depleted my stock, and someone put me in contact with him. We ended up talking for about 2.5 hours. And I relayed the information as best as I can. I didn't fudge it. I didn't lie. I basically relayed it without recording it. And I know that my memory is good because, I have the text message thread with Chris, and did I remember this correctly? Yes, you did. Did you, and so on and so forth. But since that, people have, they've pulled inconsistencies from that case, saying what he says now differs. And
guys, I'm not sure who this is. She hasn't said anything. I'm sorry, I don't know. She was never introduced, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong.
People saying, well, first the dogs went to the retention pod. Well, that's not what he told me, and I'm just conveying it. It seems like everyone, does time change stuff like that? Does time change these people's memory when it comes to something so significant? I have a son and a daughter. So as an example, if TBI wanted to interview me, it wouldn't matter. I have a criminal history. I would still provide, God bless you, I would still provide TBI a polygraph. And I would do anything for my son if he was missing. I don't know if you have children. So that seems a little odd to me. And, but maybe there are reasons good and sufficient to Seth that he didn't do it. I don't think they would be good and sufficient to me, I guess. But go ahead.
What you and I would do is not what everybody would do. Not everyone that grieves is going to grieve the same either. So that's one thing you have to consider. So when I'm even looking at mom and stepdad, I could say mom doesn't show the emotion that I would have considered as being, I'm not seeing any sort of the facial expressions that are showing sadness and grief and despair. Mm-hmm. I mean, do I find that odd? Yeah, I do find that odd. Okay. But is that enough? So it isn't. And that's the main thing that I want to get across, is that it is not just because you're looking at the language or just because he didn't take the polygraph isn't a sign of deception. There are other reasons why. It could be even the interviewer. I'm sorry to say, it could be an interviewer the way they're asking the question is causing a stimulus or causing a reaction. So there's a lot of things you have to consider. And that's why I keep going back down to, you have to look at this as a 6-channel analysis. You can't just point out, well, you didn't take a lie detector test. Now, if it were my child and they're missing, I would do everything I could to try to find my kids. I have two old adult daughters, okay? But on the other hand, let's say I had issues with the cops before and I've been arrested and accused, or I've been in jail. I might be a little skeptical.
Wow.
I may not want to do it because maybe it might come out wrong and I'm not going to take that risk. So you have to consider that.
Interesting. Let's see. I had some questions here. I think we already answered sort of the emotional pieces. In your view, does the tone suggest suppression, self-control, or fabrication performance?
Which character are we talking about? Dad?
For Dad. Well, actually, for both, if you wouldn't mind, for all parties, so for all 3 caregivers.
Okay, so Dad, I saw him, especially when he's standing outside the police station, he's out there with a megaphone, right? He's angry, he's frustrated, it's a call to action. I want you to do something. He's calling him out, right? Now you have to consider, would you put yourself in that? I mean, and I know a lot of, when you think about arson cases, the arson might even show up on the where the fire was, and so that they want to appear, right, that they're interested. Now, yes, you have to consider, well, is he that great of an actor that he's able to do that? What emotions would I would have considered? Anger, frustration. Would I have considered someone that was passive? No, because this is, given the extremeness of it, and he didn't have any answers yet, I would be pissed, right? I want the cops to do something about it. So when I look at that visceral effect that he had, it appeared to be consistent with somebody that's angry and frustrated, given the context that there was no answers. Now, when you're talking about a specific clip, and he was asked to probe where he's trying to deviate from, that'll create cognitive load. That's the clip I want to see. Because when you look at it in totality, I'm seeing a guy who's frustrated, he's angry, he wants answers. He could be avoiding taking the lie detector test because of other reasons. I don't know.
Okay, this is a really long video. Oh, you're welcome, B. I'm going to stop this one because it's just more like, I don't know, it's more talking than what I thought it would be. I want to go, like, not explaining, right? Like how she started off with when people say did not, when they do stuff like that, cannot, did not, have not, instead of paraphrasing. I agree with that. I've always found that to be off, right? I want to go to Sebastian Rogers' parents' first interview, and let's watch their body language. Now, this is just Chris and Katie's first. It's not Seth, right? I don't have all 3 of them together doing an interview, so we're just going to go to Chris and Katie, right? The very first one, I believe it's with Olivia, right? Right here, Chronicles of Olivia. Look, I left it on there a long time ago, not a long time ago, but all right. So this is Chronicles of Olivia. This is one of the very first interviews that was done. Let me change. How do I get rid of this? Hold on one second. I don't know the banner. There we go. All right, so Chronicles of Olivia. Excuse me. And we're gonna watch this, and you guys, let's pick out what you think.
He vanished and hasn't been seen since.
Although he doesn't like to be dirty, it's kind of funny because he also doesn't have awareness, because if you look, he's got chocolate milk on his face because he didn't wipe it off at breakfast.
heard some noise.
All right, here we go.
Can you recap the overall story of Sebastian's disappearance?
I don't remember
Kind
seeing
of
that
walk
picture
through that
before.
day.
Sunday, the day before he went missing. We got up and, fun fact, I made breakfast that morning. We had a good time. We were laughing, we were joking. He talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag. We went and picked up our niece. Yeah, I got a call.
He wasn't here. I
Asked if
thought.
I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate a colossal popcorn.
I remember when I first watched this, guys, and I noticed her rocking. Rocking is a soothing effect, right? Like babies, when you rock a baby, soothing effect, right? I think everybody knows that. I also noticed how now I'm not trying to pick on her or anything. I'm just saying what I've noticed. When she talks, it seems like she's very nervous or something, because she'll say something and she'll like smirk, and then I'll go back to like frozen face. Yeah, watch when she smirks and then it goes back to like frozen face. I don't know what to call it. Watch.
Came home to put groceries away because we bought snacks because he's 15 and snacks.
That's weird.
We went to the bowling alley, and then from there we went to dinner. Came home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can to the end of the driveway. About 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. And come out of his room where he was playing. He said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. I love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep." And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And
No mention of the
6 o'clock
phone
I
call.
went to wake him up for school Monday morning, and that's when he wasn't here.
What was going through your mind at that point? Like, what were the feelings that you were feeling?
To censor myself.
Yeah,
Holy
I agree.
freaking crap, this can't be happening. Where is my kid? Choice words were used. Like, where the F is he? I had looked through the house for him because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that. And he likes to dip behind the, walls and watch, and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me.
My son does.
But after I looked, and I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat.
1 minute,
But,
eyes
I
wide.
didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband and I said, "I can't find him." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "He's not in this effing house. I can't find our son." And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school. And he's already at this point I was hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming.
What does that mean?
And
Cop?
he was like, three-wayed. He three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them like, "Our son is missing and we don't know what's going on." And he was like, "Go back to the house, they're on their way." And I drove back to the house, and 20 days later we haven't found him.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how stressful that is. And also, when we were driving up here, like this neighborhood is so pretty and nice. And do you think, has he ever walked away before, or has that ever happened? It's just
No.
no, first time.
He's not a child that wanders. He's not one that is like,
He doesn't have a history of being
No.
an eloper, which is common. And I have friends with children on the spectrum who do struggle with elopement with their children. But no, Sebastian, that's one thing, has always been a blessing. He's not been an eloper or a runner.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
His
So I know there was some talk about her going to the school, right? Yeah, I kind of felt that too with the cough. It was just oddly there, but who knows? There was the talk with him going to, or her going to the school, right? And this was around like 6 something in the morning, right, guys? So school wasn't really open yet or anything like that. But I'm sure there are teachers there, correct? Teachers get to school early. I'm sure there are kids that go to do like early classes. You know, my son, I used to take him when he was in high school. He had something called Lift, right? Where they would go in early and like some mornings like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get up early and take him. But I would take him, and they had like this workout program and stuff, right? So there probably was people there at the school. Now I can't say for sure because I wasn't there. I'm not there, so I can't say for sure. But more than likely there was. I don't know why she didn't get out and check. I also don't know why his locker or friends weren't spoken to. Now, Chris said that he doesn't have friends. So, uh, other than what he calls his classmates, right? I just thought that was just really sad. You know, that's just really sad. I don't know. I don't analyze myself. You don't analyze yourself, Nancy?
primary areas are like social and emotional dysregulation issues and things like that. But he's very smart. He's functional. Overall, he's a pretty happy kid. I mean, he's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones. He's angry that he's growing a mustache, but for the most part, he's a happy kid. And
What are your theories? Like,
That wasn't even his
I'm sure
picture.
your mind just thought of every possible thing that could have
Yeah.
happened, but is there any theory that you can talk about that you think?
what I can tell you is with all law enforcement, with everybody that's involved, there's nothing that's been eliminated. Everything is on the table. Everything is being looked at from every possible aspect.
everything from he got out and walked away and was outside of the search radius before we started searching to the worst.
Yeah.
And
that's currently where we're at. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really trying not to go down that road because
well,
we're gonna find him.
speculating causes problems. Assumptions cause issues.
See him look directly at you. No, I'm not trying to. Nancy, this is the Sebastian Rogers case, and this was, gosh, this was about what? I mean, not too much before Jack and Lily, but he looks directly at you, the people who are speculating, right? At that point, I don't think he had only had the autism diagnosis for only short. Yes, I think I remember that B. So odd topic, that KP sounds like Google topic on the, yeah, it is very odd. And look at him, look at you with the speculation. Who does that sound like? That sounds like Daniel, right? That sounds like Daniel. And you know what's happened after this, right? What's happened after this? What kind of freaking circus? That's all I'm going to say, right? With the yelling, the screaming, the nonsensical drama that has gone on after this interview. That's all I'm going to say. And it's just like Daniel, right? And Daniel speaks a lot. And we know that Chris speaks a lot. So, but Katie's done more interviews than Malaya. But the odd thing is, like, where's Sebastian? Why wasn't he caught on any cameras? But a 10-pound stinking cat was caught on camera. Yes, many similarities. Many similarities, guys. I don't know. Let's just finish this.
And based on facts of what everybody knows, right now, there's nothing, and everything is still on the table.
Oh, wow, dude. Wow.
You just know he's out there somewhere.
Again.
One other question I have is recently Channel 5 in Nashville, they had security footage that showed 2 flashlights the night he disappeared. Is there anything that you think about this video? Or
Sure. So there's a lot of speculations about that video that are floating on the internet. Okay, and that is exactly what it is. It's speculations. Now, what I can give you an official statement on is TBI Newslink has released a statement from.
What I can give you, so there's like a Daniel right there. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to say it anyways type thing.
Law enforcement, between local law enforcement, state law enforcement, some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we would love it to be one, it's not. I'm not going to go into details as far as where that video is shot from, but I can tell you, as the parents, we have seen the video firsthand from law enforcement. We know exactly where it was taken from, and nothing that is being assumed right now is actually true about that video, unfortunately.
okay.
And anything about.
I just think it's very odd that a trash truck. Yeah, Angel, I know B just said that. B just said that too. I think that's very weird. That's very weird. And didn't another case, like another dad, say he followed some other case too? I don't know. It's just really weird that they say that. For instance, with the trash truck, why would the trash truck be there at like 3-something in the morning, guys? It's so weird. Yeah, I know. All these kids are still missing. Daniel followed it. And I want to say something. It's very odd for men, unless they have a background in like criminal stuff or whatever, to follow like missing children. And it's nothing against men. There's just more women follow like true crime and stuff, right? So I don't know. I wanted to put that out.
Any other videos or anything like that, please refer to the TBI news link that they have out there, the updated Amber Alert stuff, and it will give you the most up-to-date information that all law enforcement has.
Nancy, where the hell do you live? I would be, oh my gosh, 3 to 5 in the morning, I'd literally like come outside and like tell them to take a freaking hike. Like our trash truck, but it's a private company because I live in the middle of BFE, and they they come at like 8 in the morning, 8 to 9. That's crazy. 6 a.m. is early, but 3 to 5 in the morning. Nancy, where do you live? Oh my gosh, you must live next to Chris Proudfoot. Yeah, that's the thing. Can't cry. I mean, maybe she's heavily medicated. Chris reminds me of my father, and my father and I do not get along. Very know-it-all, very thinks he's better than everybody, like a bully. And I'm not saying Chris is a bully, but that's the way
and they will give you current as far as what's what and how they're looking at things.
And if there's any new video, forward it to them.
Please.
Next door to me.
Yeah. Security footage is really like a game changer. We're working on Riley's strain and trying to find like if someone missed one on a corner or something.
That's what it was. Chris followed Riley Strain. That's what it was. Chris followed Riley Strain, and Daniel allegedly followed Sebastian Rogers. That's uncanny. That's uncanny.
Oh, that's
around this neighborhood, and this whole community. I mean, I can tell you that much here. When it comes to the cameras, there has not been one person that has said no. And trust me, it is greatly felt that everybody has been so open, so helpful in pushing out any which way they can. I mean, there's been some families that have actually been on vacation that weren't home, and they got information. They've got permission from that family to take a look at their cameras and go in their houses without them even being present,
512.
which has been amazing. So, yeah.
If their trash truck came at 512, then why are they saying the lights at 3 something were the trash truck be? I'm confused. So those lights were at 3 something, right? Or am I wrong? Or maybe that's the time the camera screwed up. Was the time the camera screwed up was around 3? Because remember the camera froze or something. I think Seth said that. The camera had malfunctioned or something at 3 a.m. Do you remember that? Or am I like, they are being deceptive? CP followed Summer Wells' case. Yes, that's right, B. That's just freaking weird to me. Guys, I keep seeing this red laser light around me all day, and I'm like freaking out. I don't know if it's my eyes or what. I was literally in the grocery store today, and I swear this, like a red laser, like pointed by me, and I'm like, somebody trying to shoot me, like snipe me, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I thought I just seen it again, and it's just freaking weird.
That's good. If there was something that you could say to Sebastian if he was listening, what would you say?
Is this where she makes her face weird?
Oh, God. That if you can see this or hear this, that we just want you home, baby, and we love you. And there ain't nothing that will stop us from coming and getting you and bringing you home.
I can't speak for his father, but I'm pretty sure we all have the same opinion, that we love you, miss you, we want you home.
That's so weird.
And if you can, call us, get wherever you can, let us know,
Weird,
and we will come get you.
Call 911, run out into the street, go in public, anything. The signs that we've been blessed to have family, friends, and even some in the community that have been helping us, but we've been out spreading those as far as we can, even over state lines, trying to get awareness because, not everybody knows that he's missing, and there's a chance that if someone could see him and not even realize who he is. So we want to get his face out there because we want him home.
Surprisingly, even locally, there are some folks that don't even know what's going on, and it's kind of like a shocker. Like, how do you not know? It is amazing because in the past couple of weeks, you've got 2 cases. A 15-year-old boy that has vanished without a trace. You've got a 22-year-old, 6'4" or 7 college kid from Missouri who has vanished.
So I'm not trying to be controversial here. Like I'm not. So I remember something like Chris said he didn't want Sebastian around his daughter, right? His daughter that basically lives with the mother most of the time, right? Do you see that too, Zeitgeist? I thought I'm like freaking seeing stuff. Maybe I'm just tired. Or sparkle on my eye, maybe, or something. Yeah, I know. It's just weird. So you remember, right? She shook her head when she said nothing will stop her. Yeah, I noticed that. Those say when they're saying like they're gonna do something and then they're shaking no. Daniel does that a lot. So these 2 people here were in the military, right? They were both in the Navy, right? Okay. Thank you, B. Chris did say that he wasn't going to say why. He just said that he did not want Sebastian around his daughter. So then he said, I'm pretty sure they both said they were trying to find Sebastian a home. Am I correct? They were trying to find Sebastian a home to go to, right? There was something else. Oh, that cost too much money or something. Then the other one was they were trying to give Seth custody or something like that, but Seth wanted Sebastian to finish out the school year. Am I right? Am I right, guys? She's a Navy electronics expert. Correct. Yes. Exactly. Why won't you call the real father? So there are three red flags to me right there. Those are 3 red flags in my opinion. Now, it could be nothing, but I think they're red flags. They were talking about behavioral school. Yes, thank you. Yes, the daughter is a lot younger, though, than Sebastian, correct? She was like 7 or 8. She is. She's still, I don't know. She was like 7 or 8. Sebastian was 15. Also, this is a very sensitive subject I don't like to bring up, but we later found out from Seth that Sebastian, there was an issue, right? When he was 7 years old, when Katie just met Chris, right? They just met. So Katie and Sebastian would have been going through a divorce. We found out from Sebastian's father, which this is just really, that he was essayed by another child. Like, I just hate even like saying that. Like, that just makes me want to fucking cry. Anyways, come to find out, then Seth starts talking again, and he says that, I think it was Seth, right? He said that Katie's mom is not allowed to be around children, right? Yes, Seth put him on the homeschool wait list right away, but had to wait for him to come up on the list. Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes, B, exactly. So, that just makes my stomach drop, right? So, come to find out, Katie's mom is like that, and Sebastian's not supposed to be around her whatsoever, right? Yes, she's an RSO. And I don't know, there was some issues or something like that when that whole ordeal came out, because Seth said that Sebastian was supposedly slept over Katie's grandmother's house when Katie's mom was that. Yes, it is just really, really sad. But what are the coincidences of Katie's mom being somebody like that, right? And this has nothing to do with Katie, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's horrible. But for Sebastian, for that to happen to Sebastian when his mother is someone that has had that, right, from a parent, that's just weird to me, guys. That's weird. Yeah, same here. Since day 8. Yeah, I've heard about the jamming of the cameras. Yeah, it's just so sad. Like, it makes me choke up to talk about it. But those are the things that I've heard. And I know it caused a big issue when those came out. Katie said that she did get help for Sebastian. So, what are the coincidences of that happening to Sebastian, though, when we know Katie's mom is a registered offender, and then that happens to Sebastian under Katie's roof? I just thought that was very, very odd. I don't know. It's just very weird, right? All right, let me finish this. Stop blabbing.
Without a trace. That's a huge significance here, that it's like, wow, how? So,
It's scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the college kid is from Missouri, I think.
Yeah, Missouri.
I can only imagine what his family is going through.
Changing the
It's like your
subject.
worst nightmare come alive.
Do you guys receive
I remember
hate
seeing this.
on the internet?
Yes, and it's ongoing. It's every
That
single
picture,
day.
anyways.
People are people, and they have their opinions. Everybody is formulating their idea of what's going on and who's guilty and who's not guilty because they want to know or they feel they need to know. There's a difference. Unfortunately, what I will tell you is that when you're the family in this position and you're working with law enforcement and everything's going the way it goes, people automatically assume this parent or that parent. And in this situation, I can promise you, every single parent has been vetted. I can't go into details, but I can tell you we have been vetted.
It doesn't matter.
And we have been cleared.
Thank you, Jules.
Of all possibility of wrongdoing, foul play. There's nothing to that.
He's trying to prove his innocence there.
We've heard all kinds of stories.
I pretty much don't even go online anymore at this point.
I, on the other hand, I do go on, and I do talk to these folks,
And you
and I
do
want them to
ask
understand
yourself, in my opinion, sometimes.
they have this formulated opinion on who we are, not who we truly are.
Doesn't that sound like Daniel? Doesn't that sound like Daniel? Why do you care? Why do you care what online thinks? Why? Yeah, I agree, Nancy. It is not normal. It was in slow motion, but it's just not normal. I don't know. Like, I understand looking around your surroundings and stuff, of course. But even when the waiter, I have the picture of the waiter, like he's looking at her like, why the fuck are you looking around? I'm right here. Maybe she was watching TV. Who knows? It is weird to me. And I know the green hoodie person has been debunked, right? I thought that was weird. Didn't they die, that person? Didn't that person in the green hoodie pass away like right after that, which I thought was weird as well? That's what I heard. Maybe I'm wrong.
We've never met us. We've never crossed paths with some of these folks. But I have told them online, if you want to know, just ask me.
Yeah, it was a female.
I'll answer your questions to the best of what I can. There are some things that I cannot give you because law enforcement has dictated that we are not to provide certain information. But I will try.
Okay, tell me something.
I'm direct.
Missing child case, right? And like Lily and Jack's case. If it's just a missing person's case, why does law enforcement have to be secretive? Can someone answer me that question? Because if it's a missing person's case and you're trying to get the information out there, I think that any questions the public has should be out there, right? That they need to know, basically. Like this stuff about, you know what I mean? But it's just very weird. Only in criminal cases, it seems like, would they advise the parents not to say something. I don't think they were directed. I think TBI advised them not to run around on social media about stuff. Understand. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my earring just fell out of my ear. I got one earring like a pirate. Reminds me of the murder Chris Boudreaux. Her mother killed her, so the mother chose her boyfriend. Yes, I've heard of that. Yes. I have heard of that. Just like Susan Smith.
I am brash, but I am very respectful. So if
Yeah,
you have questions,
I've heard him go
ask.
off
I'll give
on
you what I can.
YouTubers before.
Just be respectful, please. And keep in mind,
Please
there's
fire it.
3 parents and there's
This is my
thousands and
ears.
millions of people out there that may have a question. We are trying to get to them. I promise you.
How has your guys'
Was.
life
I
been
agree.
affected by this? Like, I know it's a broad question, but what's like when you wake up in the
No.
morning, what's it just like?
Miserable, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. You wake up every morning and your routine is what it is and you know it, right? Now wake up when this happens and you can't figure out what to do. You struggle every
good,
single
Jules, that he wasn't.
day on trying to get out of the bed, to deal
Yeah, I see that,
and
Robin.
face everybody's negativity, you know, and you try to make it a positive thing.
Or the fact that my son's still not home.
You know,
That's
we have a
weird.
bedroom that's empty that is never normally ever empty, except for when he's with his dad every other weekend. So now we have a child that's missing.
I feel, you know how I feel? I feel that, I don't feel, I know this is so freaking weird. I don't feel like I feel like something was done to her. Like she wouldn't agree on Sebastian going maybe or something, and something was done to her. I don't know. That's just the way I feel. But I don't know. It's so weird. Like I go back and forth with things, right? Like, I don't know. It breaks my heart with Chris's case. Yeah, I just feel, thank you, Jules. Yeah, thank you. Do you feel that way too, Jules, that something was done to her? Yeah. Like she kind of knows, but yeah, she kind of knows, but she doesn't know. Like, yeah. Like the dads kind of got together, in my opinion. And that's all I'm going to say. The dads got together. That's all I'm going to say.
So there's no words to
Reggie,
describe it, but I can just tell you, it's like you get up and now you don't know what to do.
Sebastian's parents also talked about how his actions and behaviors could be different, or how he would respond in a new environment.
Well, that's kind of tricky
I know it's
because
big on camera.
Sebastian hasn't been on his medication in 20 days. So he is rambunctious.
He doesn't like that when he says that. See
He's
that?
going to be hungry. He
Look at her face when he says that. She didn't like that.
It's kind of tricky
Watch.
because Sebastian hasn't been on his medication in 20 days.
See?
So he is rambunctious. He's
Falls back.
going to be hungry. He turns into a bottomless pit. I mean, he's your teenage boy, you know, always hungry. On the spectrum, yes. But not
That's the way I
one
feel, too.
autistic child in this
Yep.
world is like another one. What we can tell you is he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
He can be goofy. He kind of has issues with personal space. He hasn't mastered
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
Well, let her talk.
he can be aggressive if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a teenager. He's
He
got.
doesn't like punch and hit and throw, but he
No.
gets really like aggressive stanced or like clipped where he just won't talk to you or
Yeah.
you know, if he's really upset he like growls.
Yeah,
This is where she does the weird facial thing. Hold on.
oh man.
Share, look, pay
Be
attention.
vigilant.
No, she does.
You know, and we don't expect everybody to stop what they do and spend every waking minute. But you would be surprised on how easily people are complacent and not realize certain things. We're all guilty because we're all human. We all live a daily life.
What's on
But
her arm?
sometimes
Or is that my
just
computer?
being a little bit extra vigilant,
Aware of your surroundings in case there's something suspicious.
you never know. But don't ever stop is all we ask. Please keep looking, keep searching. Anything, reach out. You know, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely, you know,
I think
keep
she's on
his
some
story
kind
in
of
the
medication
spotlight.
too.
And all it takes is for one person to see something
I
or
agree.
know something, and
we need is
that's
just
just
one clue.
that one clue.
The old saying, see something, say something.
And a few others, but we're working with everyone we can. And taking, like, some people have been kind and reached out with resources that I didn't know were out there, and I've reached out to all of them. Truckers Against Trafficking, we reached out to them just in case.
Biker world, that's one thing everybody has in common is their love for a child.
See, they're big into Harleys and stuff. I know they went to look at a bike or something not too long after Sebastian went missing. Also, they had left the house. What can you guys, is B still in here? They had left the house, what, like 2 weeks or something after Sebastian went missing? Do you guys, or she did? She went to stay with Chris when he was at work, right? Yeah, it seems like she's on Xanax or something, which, I mean, could be she needs to take it because, yes. And when she said he likes to, like, he has aggressive stance, that reminds me of Jack, like, getting mad at Janie, right? Like, you remember that? She said he would do that. Her instincts tell her, and she looks like she's very smart. Yeah, you can tell, like, she's very, for what she does in the military, she has to be, right? Or did in the military.
And they can't stand to see children missing, hurt, and it doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter what group it is.
Guys, stay in my
That's
team.
one commonality between every group, and that's why, as a part of being in that world, we go and we utilize our brothers and sisters to help spread that word.
Did you hear what he said?
You'd be surprised.
That a part of our world, talking about the motorcycle.
Every group, and that's why, as a part of being in that world, we go and we utilize our brothers and sisters to help spread that word. You'd be surprised on how easy it is to spot somebody. The biker. So
that was cut out. The
How
biker
can
world.
people help?
This community, I'm gonna tell you right now, far and wide, multiple communities, counties, various people, some people in other states reach out either through social media, in person, but everybody is searching. They've looked. They're constantly looking. They're constantly giving us ideas. Hey, check this. What about this? All of that is great.
Report anything that could potentially, even if it's little.
It doesn't matter what it is. However, what we can ask is that instead of people assuming and trying to put negative out there, just try to stay with the facts and report all the things that are positive. Any ideas that may help, trust me, all law enforcement are available and they are looking at everything.
Oh, wow.
Sebastian Rogers is still missing. If you know something, say something. Chronicles of Olivia.
Oh, wow, Jules. Thank you. I did not know that. Yeah, I feel, oh, really? Really? Oh my gosh. We're going to leave it at there for tonight, guys. I am, I'm trying to figure out how to get back on here. That was Chronicles of Olivia. If you want to go to her YouTube channel, if you want to revisit that video, there are several interviews and stuff like that. Now, unfortunately, I've already been on here for 2 hours, so my back is killing me in this little tiny roll around chair, right? Yeah, I know. I know everybody's got their opinions and stuff, but we don't know. Like, we still don't know what happened. I have my opinion too. I do. I feel like something was done to her. I really do. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. But then on the other hand, like, I don't know. It's just weird. There's so many coincidences too, which I told you I don't agree. I don't believe in those. I don't know, guys. It's just weird. It's just weird. Never looks up. I know. Time flew. I know. I know this stream was like smaller than my other ones, but I didn't really like put keywords and stuff in. I should have, I guess. But I did post the stream on some Facebook groups, but of course they never get approved before the live goes live. So hopefully they do get approved so people come over, because I do want to start covering more cases, because I made this channel to bring awareness to missing children, and that is my entire goal. Now, I know I have been focused on Jack and Lily's case like for a while, and I am still focused on it. I told Shant, I was like, I really needed a breather and to pull back today and look at it with fresh eyes again, because there's a lot of nonsense going on right now in that case as well. Like with Durwood and his son, they are just nasty, coming out and saying the stuff that they're saying. And I agree. I think she is medicated. She is medicated. When she fell back, when he said that one word, she like fell back. Like, yeah. There was one, and I think it was the other version of that. Like, because you could tell where she edited it. There was another, she had said something, and she does this quite a lot, where she will think of something happy, and then she just goes straight from that happiness to that. It's so weird. It doesn't blend in. You know what I mean? Like when you're laughing and it kind of dies out, you're still laughing. Hers goes from like smile or whatever straight to like blah. It's so weird. I'll have to point it out next time. But I've never lost a children, so I don't know. I don't know how it feels. And God forbid, I don't even want to talk about it. Don't even put it out in the air, right? Yes, I appreciate all of you all for being here. Thank you for joining me. And it's about bringing awareness to these missing children. And if I could just, someone could see the video that's never heard of Sebastian, that would be great, right? And that one person could see Sebastian and bring him home, right? But I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Mods, you guys are amazing. Members, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And welcome to the family, Anastasia. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Have a wonderful night. And I will see you guys tomorrow with another live. Thanks for watching. Good night.